everyone. Welcome to another Milan Reports post-match discussion. My name's Riccardo. I'm joined here by my friend Miguel. After a 1-0 victory against Empoli at the San Siro, we got the 3 points, Miguel. How are you feeling after this game?
Um, I'm happy that we got 3 points. It wasn't the greatest of games. It's a bit nerve-wracking at times, but 3 points is 3 points, and we continue to chase the Scudetto at this point. So I'm happy about that.
Well said. Milan started off the match with a Pierre Kalulu goal in the 19th, 20th minute after following the rebound of a free kick from Olivier Giroud. And then Milan had a little bit more of the control in the first half, but leading into the second half, it looked like Empoli were the ones on the front foot here, and there was not a lot of control by Milan in terms of just putting the game away. But we'll be able to go ahead and discuss what this means going forward for the Serie A Scudetto race, and we'll go ahead and dive into some player ratings, of course. And as always, let us know your questions and thoughts in the comments, and we'll be able to go ahead and answer those as well. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started here with putting up some of the player ratings and have a discussion on the game here. And so far, they look like fair ratings to me here. So, as you can see, Serie A matchup here, match day 29, Milan 1-0 against Empoli here. Coach Pioli got the rating of 6 with man of the match, Pierre Kalulu, getting the goal in the first half and an excellent defensive performance, getting us that 7.5. And then we'll go ahead and dive into the rest of the team here. So, let me go ahead and put us back up here. We'll go ahead and start with Milan's overall performance. Pioli getting the rating of 6. Miguel, is that fair? How would you go ahead and
Yeah, I
describe
think
Milan's performance?
I think that's fair. Milan looked good in that first half, but that second half wasn't the best Milan side that we've seen, and we've seen time and time again. Sometimes we struggle to close out games, and we were lucky to close out this one, but this was just kind of one of those situations like, the match against Udinese where we're leading 1-0 and we give the team hope and they grab a goal and that's 2 points lost on the table. So fair enough. I think Pioli kind of waited a little too long to, implement subs. But for the most part, I think that rating is fair for him.
Well said. I want to go ahead and say the same thing. I agree. I think that rating is pretty fair. In terms of closing out the match, I was the edge of my seat, just kind of wondering when that second goal might come here. It looked like at times in the second half that Empoli's goal might come sooner or before a goal that never came from us. But brilliant save from Magnan on a header opportunity for Empoli in the second half, which I thought we're going to go ahead and bring him into the game. You mentioned it. We've seen it throughout the season here where we go ahead and struggle to close out these games and we give the opportunity for teams to go ahead and get back in the game and then take 2 points away from us. But overall, this is a good rating. Milan were able to go ahead and hold off Empoli at home to go ahead and get the 3 points. This is big in the Scudetto race. This puts us not only 2 games played ahead of Inter, but we are currently standing at 63 points to Inter's 58 here. So a nice 5 point lead here going forward to our next matches. And until we face off Inter in the Coppa Italia in the middle of April here, I think we have an away game here. I know we're seeing Genoa, Bologna, Cagliari, but let me go ahead and pull up the exact schedule. In the meantime, here, Pierre Kalulu getting the rating of 7.5 and man of the match. Another, I think, fantastic performance from him in the back, just showing that he can go ahead and be solid. Partnership with Fikayo Tomori, a little sketchy on the ball sometimes on his touch, but overall able to go ahead and also get the goal for us. Miguel, do you think Kalulu's 7.5 man of the match well deserved?
Yeah, I think that's well deserved. He's been great stepping in defense. You know, for a guy who's not even a center back, he plays the center back role pretty well. Grabbed the goal. There's nothing more you could ask for the guy, and he's just proving his worth. And we got that guy on a free transfer last summer, so it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great business done from the back office in Maldini to just go ahead and get Kalulu here for the cheap of almost nothing. And he's been a servant for the team, I think, absolutely stepping up when he needed to. We've talked so much in our previous podcasts exactly how Kalulu has been able to go ahead and step up. We had questions going into this match who we thought was going to go ahead and play left back for us. And starting off as our first person here on the ratings, Florenzi with the 6. Playing left back here, Miguel, what are your thoughts on his performance today?
I thought that was fair. I mean, he created a couple opportunities. I didn't really see too many defensive lapses from him, so I think that the 6 is a fair rating for him. You know, he's not originally a left back, he's a right back, and he filled in, and I think he did his duty today.
Well said. I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you there. He definitely went ahead and stepped up when needed to go ahead and be there in the left back position. So, pretty fair rating here. And then moving over to his counterpart over on the right back position, Calabria with the rating of 5.5. Is this a fair rating? Is this a little too harsh? What are your thoughts there?
I think it's a bit harsh. Maybe he could be bumped up to a 6. Not his greatest game. He had some defensive lapses today, but he's been a consistent performer in our side. You know, today just wasn't the best of days for him. I don't think he was that poor to deserve a 5.5, but I would say 6.
I'm going to also have to go ahead and agree with you there. Definitely don't think the 5.5 is a fair rating for him. A little too harsh. A 6 would have been nice. And do want to go ahead and point out also that definitely the mentality in him shows that in the past few matches, he's been on a declining form a little bit, not able to go ahead and be that much of an attack and opportunist or even to go ahead and create the chances defensively. A little shaky here and there. Um, I don't know. I think this would have been a great opportunity for him to go ahead and turn it around. Doesn't look like he's quite 100% there mentally to go ahead and hopefully, be a long-term option for the Milan side. We are trying to go ahead and win the Scudetto, and we need players, especially since he wore the captain's armband. An expectation is needed from him, in my eyes, and just I don't know if we're going to rate him as a 5.5. I think a little bit more of an expectation is needed from him. But
Yeah.
overall, the center back partnership was pretty great, and they've shown that they're able to go ahead and be an impenetrable force in the back, and to go ahead and also assist our fullbacks in times that when they're caught out of position or they need to go ahead and assist with the 2v1 closer. And we'll move over to Fikayo Tomori with the rating of 6.5. Continues to be physical, continues to be strong, smart on the ball, when to close down space and when to go ahead and take advantage of the 1v1 defending situations. I think this is another match where he's played fantastic in the back with Kalulu. What are your thoughts on Tamori there, Miguel?
Yeah, I think it's spot on there. Did his job today. He's been massive for us, and to think that Chelsea really let this guy go for such a cheap cost, you know. Defenders like him are going for like 50 million, 70 million at this point in this market. So great deal. As you can see, he's solidified his spot on the team. He's going to be here long term. So it's amazing to see how much he's going to grow here at Milan.
Yeah, well said. I'm also very excited to see how much he's going to grow here at Milan. And we'll go ahead and move over to the pivot here. Our midfield consisted of Benacer and Tonali, and then Kessie playing in front of him there. Kessie with the rating of 5.5. Is this a fair rating there?
I think that's fair. Didn't really do too much today. Um, I know he's not playing in his regular position, but he still didn't. We didn't see much of Kessie today. You know, Kessie sometimes makes his presence known on the field and in the midfield, and I just didn't really see that today from him.
Yeah, I think this is another performance from him where he has ghosted. You said it right. He definitely goes ahead and makes sure that his presence is well known on the field. And I thought at times that the ball was being pinged around, he might have been behind defenders or behind the line in positions not really well known to go ahead and receive the ball, and that certain times when he did get the ball, it was simple distribution. So not a lot of creation, although he was not playing in his original position, playing a little bit higher on the field. Um, this is just kind of like the performance against Napoli and previous matches going into the Napoli match where he's just been kind of ghosting and not really showing who he truly is and how well he shines in the midfield and the pivot. And I know that Benacer and Tonali are there right now, and that Kessie has been asked to go ahead and play higher on the field, but still, if you're going to go ahead and sit Brahim Diaz for 2 matches in a row, I think a little bit of an expectation here is needed from me from Kessie, especially in the game like this where we wanted to go ahead and close out the match with another goal. I would have liked to see the goal come from anywhere here. So, and this will go ahead and go for some of the other attacking players as well with Macias and Leao, kind of just ghosting a little, not creating much of the attacking opportunities. I know Macias got a shot on target there, but I'll move on here to our pivots here to Ismail Benacer. I know Chat, he's been a very fan favorite of us, and he's been man of the match for a few of our ratings in the past year, including that match last week here. This time, not under the spotlight. A rating of 6. Is that a fair rating here, Miguel?
I think you could probably bump it up a little bit for Benacer. I think Benacer was probably the best player on the pitch, aside from Kalulu and Tamori. Um, he made his presence known today in midfield, so um, just great for him. I think that Tonali did a decent job as well today. Got the stupid yellow card, which is kind of annoying because we tend to have a problem with yellow card accumulation, which leads to
Mhm.
suspension. But other than that, I think pretty fair for the both of them.
Yeah, well said. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say it's pretty fair from both of them to go ahead and get that rating of 6. I still thought that they were able to go ahead and move the ball around and take control of the midfield. Um, I don't think Benacer or Tonali should have been bumped up a little bit higher or a little bit lower. I think they're fair at the rating they are right now. And then moving on to our front three here. At the time we had CS, Giroud, and Leao, and we'll go ahead and start with Rafael Leao here with the rating of 6. Thoughts there, Miguel?
Uh, I say it's fair. He did create some opportunities in the first half. He was a bit quiet in the second half. But yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's fair a little bit as well. Although it's not as consistent in this game that we utilized Leao as we've done in the past,
Mhm.
and maybe he's not. Um, Maybe this match he wasn't fully 100 there to go ahead and beat the players, but I still thought that his brilliance on the ball was still showing. Maybe what lacked was just that final third, putting the ball away in the net, but that seemed to be consistent throughout the whole team up front here. But I think it is a fair rating. I know that some chat I'm seeing you saying maybe a 4 in there, and him and Macias. But no, I think that's a little bit too harsh right there. I think a rating of 6 is just fine. And I'll go ahead and move over to the other side of the flank. That would be Macias, who also got a rating of 6. Before we go ahead and share our thoughts here, Miguel, Gili Blauer lets us know right away that CS and Leo's should be 4s. I don't think though. I think that's a little too harsh here. But what are your thoughts here on Messia's performance on this match?
I wouldn't give him a 4, but I don't think he deserves a 6, maybe a 5, 5.5. We didn't see too much of Macias today. He did get a shot on target, but just I don't know. Macias wasn't Maciasing today. It wasn't anything creative. He didn't beat anybody one on one on a dribble and like create any amazing opportunities. He didn't whip any crosses in for Giroud. So kind of just lacking. He was just kind of there type of day. So those are my takes on him.
Yeah, and on top of that, I just want to go ahead and say towards the second half, when Messias starts showing signs of fatigue, it really goes ahead and actually impacts his performance. I think a little bit more noticeably than some of the other individuals. Just losing the ball a little bit more, not being able to go ahead and defend and close down. I saw him lunge for a tackle at one point, which, if he made contact on somebody, he could have picked up on a yellow, and there's another yellow card issue that we would have had. So, uh, right now, I think that six rating also is a little bit too high. Five and a half, definitely up there. Um, just as you mentioned, not able to go ahead and create or provide for Giroud here, and that kind of played into Giroud's game and his own rating, giving him a rating of 5.5, not being able to go ahead and show us the threat that he is inside the box like he was against Napoli, being able to finish. But he's also a very tall gentleman who likes to bring the ball down with his chest when Magnan or the defense distributes from the back. So definitely him in the box, crosses. It seems that like CS Calabria just lately haven't been able to go ahead and connect with Giroud. But
Mhm.
Admiral First lets us know that he also believes Monsieur should not be a 6.5 at most. And of course, he lets us know his thoughts on Benacer being a 6.5 of his performance. But it seems to me that Macias and um, I don't know, not so much Leao here in Calabria, but more Macias has been kind of like not the man of the match, but like I don't even want to say worst of the match, but not probably the best of the match.
Mhm. Mhm.
Chillis has asked, has anyone seen Macias pass the ball? Kind of funny. I did see him the few times that the camera angles, you know how they show, the teleside to show everyone, and then the few times when the ball's on the
Yeah.
sideline, they'll zoom in. Just did him dirty a few times where it would zoom into a 1v1 where he would lose the ball. So it's just kind of like oof. But and
Not the greatest look.
yeah, not the greatest look, but in goal to finish off our starting 11, Mike Magnan, Super Mike, unbelievable. That save he made in the second half to keep us uh, scoreless 1-0 for us was absolutely fantastic. That was pure reactionary. You can't fully commit to if that's a shot or a cross. You have to wait for whether the forward goes ahead and flicks it or it gets a header on it, and which happened. Fantastic save. I think Magnan has consistently uh, been determined to show everyone that this is my box. I command this box, and his aerial dominance. It just made me forget everything that's happened in the past, especially in that Salernitana match. But going forward,
Yeah.
especially after the midweek shenanigans, I guess, from our old goalkeeper, Dijo, in the Champions League. It's kind of nice to see Magnan's performance today and just knowing that, we're in safe hands, that the goalkeeper that we've had and we're going forward with is a steady one. So 7, I think, just alongside with Kalulu, Tomori, Benacer, they're definitely players of the match today and stepped up and showed when needed to go ahead and be there. Again, time and time again, our defense having to step up and be the best of the players on the field. What are your thoughts on Manyan today?
No, yeah, I agree. He was an upgrade. I'm very happy that he's here. He definitely saved us, and he saved us in the past. So it's great to know that Manyan can step up when needed.
Well said. Well said. And yeah, if he's definitely going to go ahead and continue to step up, I'm here for it. And moving on to some of the guys that came on: Diaz, Rebic, Krunic, Salamakers, and Ibrahimovic. Nice to see Ibrahimovic go ahead and come back in here, coming back from injury. Salamakers, what are your thoughts on his performance today?
I mean, you can't really say much. He wasn't on for too long, so yeah.
Would you have liked to see him on longer or just enough fair time?
Just I would say he deserved a bit more playing time, just based off of how the game was going. But you know, it's all done and dusted pretty much. We got the 3 points and I'm happy about that. We just gotta keep figuring out what's gonna work for us on
Yeah.
the wing, either Messias or Salamakers. But right now it's just one of those things where we're just playing them and seeing who's gonna show something.
And honestly, for me, after this performance by Macias, I don't know if questions are going to be starting to ask for Pioli. Going,
Hmm.
for our next matches here, if the implementation of Salamakers might be earlier in the match, because it seems like when he comes on, it's kind of like you have a up the field defender that likes to go ahead and come back. So he definitely comes
Yeah,
back, and he's put on the pitch when needed to go ahead and hold on to the lead. And when he does that pretty well, I think he understands the assignment that he needs to go ahead and be back and be an extra man to go ahead and support. But I mean, after a few poor performances in that awful miss against Napoli, you know, Alexis Salamakers against teams like Empoli, he likes to shine a little bit more, be more of a risk taker, show a little bit more of his attacking abilities. So going forward, we have Milan, we have Cagliari away. Definitely want to go ahead and see some more minutes being implemented here. Bologna as well at home. Based on how they go, I really like Macias. Don't get me wrong, but we still have that question if he's going to go ahead and be part of our long-term plans. And if he's not giving me a for sure yes, maybe we can go ahead and get started with a little bit more of Alexis, but to go ahead and boost that confidence back up, because man, I can't stand him seeing miss those chances like Napoli. In a match like this, I think it definitely would have hurt him a little bit more, especially when
yeah,
we needed to close out the match. But yeah, I can't say much about the others as well, Krunic and Rebic. Do want to go ahead and point out, is it fair to go ahead and, if Rebic starts to get more minutes here, start looking at him more? I mean, it's been a while since he's come
yeah.
back from injury.
I mean, you could argue we could try Rebic on the right wing, even though that's not his sole position. But you could test it out and see, because at this point in the season, you're looking for whatever's going to work and whatever's going to get us 3 points, because we're in the Scudetto race right now, and every point matters.
Exactly. Well said. You're going to go ahead and try everything that works to go ahead and get it done, even if it means Krunic at 10 to hold on Brozovic. But
Yep.
I love it. And overall, Milan's performance again, guys. We went ahead and got the 3 points here against Empoli with a Pierre Kalulu goal in the first half. These are the player ratings here. I'll go ahead and leave them up here. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and open up the floor to see if any questions here while I go ahead and pull up the Serie A standings. Mhm. All right. So I'm going to go ahead here now. Click on that. As we're answering questions here, go ahead and drop some questions in the chat. I'll go ahead and say some of the Serie A standings here. As I mentioned before, in first, Milan here played 29 matches, 63 points, going next to Cagliari. Inter sitting just behind us, played 27 matches with 58 points. Inter face off Torino tomorrow. Napoli in third place with 57 points, having played 28 matches. Nice to give them that whooping last week, 1-0. They go up against Hellas Verona tomorrow. Didn't point it out, but both Napoli and Inter are away from home. And then Juventus creeping up on fourth place with 56 points, having played 29 matches. Scudetto race is tight. It's hot. And
It
Juventus
is.
is making some moves. They're creeping up. So nice to see that we've gotten the job done today here against Empoli. We'll have to go ahead and turn on your score app notifications unless you watch Interplay. Ugh. But to see how the match goes tomorrow, and we'll see here what's going on. Some of these questions here, and I'll go ahead and drop some of the comments here. So we'll go ahead and start with Chilis letting us know that outside of Kalulu, Tomori, Manyan, and Benacer, no one else deserved anything over a 5. A little harsh towards the end there, but
Yeah,
I will go ahead and say Kalulu, Tomori, Manyan, Benacer. Yeah, those guys definitely went ahead and stepped up today.
yeah, I agree. A bit harsh on the comment, but yeah, he's right.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you as well. It is a good day. 3 points. Can't complain.
Facts.
It's a good day with Milan win. And today later, I'm going to go watch the Colorado Rapids play, and they're not as convincing as Milan. So it's nice that we got 3 points today. But let's see here. Uh, Gilibiltar says Castileo and Messias should switch roles in the squad. Samu should play, and Messias should be in the stands. Um, in terms of sharing minutes, we talked about Messias sharing some minutes with Alexis. Would be kind of nice going forward for these next matches before our matchup against um, Inter in the Coppa Italia. But in terms of Samu Casilejo, I don't really know exactly what his plans are within the squad. I don't know if we are certainly going to go ahead and use his assets here going forward for the Scudetto, unless injuries requires to. Um, I'm indifferent if we need to go ahead and give him a second chance. I don't think Macias and Alexis have been playing too bad that we have to go ahead and start relying on another right midfielder. I know you brought up the fact, Miguel, that maybe we could go ahead and try Rebic out wide, and although that's not his natural position, it's a player that we've been utilizing now. What are your thoughts here?
Um, I mean, it's interesting, but I just don't think Milan's going to do that. Like you said, we're probably not going to see Castillejo take the pitch unless we have injury problems. I just think that he's no longer a part of this project, and management made that very clear. So he's here to stay until his contract expires or until we push him out the door. But I don't see him getting any minutes. It'd be interesting, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, well said. Very interesting. But we'll go ahead and move on here. Dre0011, interesting, says good performance from Kessie. Hmm.
No pun intended.
Chilis says that Milan can't continue playing with three defensive midfielders. There's zero creativity in the lineup. Well
Yeah.
said. I know that with Kessie playing the 10 gives us definitely an extra defensive-minded midfielder there to go ahead and initiate the press from higher on the field. But yeah, there is zero creativity in the lineup, and we talked about this earlier. If we're gonna sit Brahim Diaz for 2 matches in a row, not let him start, where he's supposed to be, the man cooking up the creativity. Just wanted to go ahead and see something here from Kessier. Last week, Tonali was creating from deep, letting Benacer run around the pitch a little bit higher up and getting control. But today it just looked like, the creativity wasn't there, even from out wide from both Leao and Macias, who, one likes to dribble and one likes to go ahead and provide for Giroud. Wasn't there. Can't continue playing with three defensive midfielders, though. I guess it depends on what's going on and what we're up against because, you know, although we're lacking balance, uh, Diaz isn't convincing Pioli here 100% that he should go ahead and be the one starting. As of right now, he could be sometimes he is more fragile than Kessia, so he could be losing the ball a little bit more. But where are we going to get this creativity from, Miguel?
I mean, I feel like this is something that, Milan Twitter has been crying out for, and our prayers will probably be answered next season. But like for now, we have to bear with what we have. We have Adley that's going to come into the squad, which will be a huge boost. I know Pobega's not, creative midfielder, but we'll have some, I guess you can say, toys to play with next season in the
Hmm.
creativity department. But for right now, we just have to deal with what we got to do and just grind out the wins.
Exactly. Word word for word, just like Vateria just said, just got to ground out those wins. He makes
Mhm.
point here. We made a meal out of it today, but next match will be tougher than this one. Empoli are 8 points above the relegation zone, while Cagliari are only 1 point above the relegation zone and just lost to Spezia.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
given
gonna
our
be a tough
track
match.
record this year so far, I mean, we struggled against Salernitana, and then I know that after Cagliari, a few matches later, we see Genoa, who are also in the relegation zone. And I mean, those teams
Mhm.
lately have been just grinding out and given a hard time. At least what seems to be, Milan and us. I know Inter had a chance on Salernitana that we didn't capitalize on, but we capitalized on
Right.
today. So great point here. Collier just 1 point above relegation zone, and it might be a lot tougher. Definitely want to go ahead and see the mentality on the players because last time we played a team this low in the Serie A table, Salernitana didn't look too hot. The mentality was not there. Some of the players today coming out of this match, not too convincing. Macias, Calabria, just to point out a few off the top of my head. So going forward to this match, if it is going to be a tougher one, I want to see what the Milan winning the Scudetto team mentality looks like. And yeah, I guess this one we'll just go ahead and hype it up as much as we can on this comment and then just wait for it, the match here. And any thoughts here going into the match against Cagliari?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be difficult. We saw what happened last year at the end of the season when we played Cagliari. We needed a win, and we couldn't win against them. It's gonna